Good morning, everybody. Jenny Clouston here. So, as you can hear, it's raining gently here, but the weather during the time our family came to stay with me was glorious. The Sunshine Coast put on a show for them, and for 2 weeks we had the most beautiful weather, and I had so much fun with my grandchildren and my family. Now, my nails aren't great because having great nails, nail polish is not really conducive to digging, making sand castles and blah, 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 blah. I don't know where I am. My sewing room is all packed away, because everybody's been here. And I did, as to be expected, I caught the dreaded lurgy from my grandchildren. I'm coming to the tail end of it, so if I sound a bit croaky, that's the reason why that is. So I came across this the other day. Can I please show you this? We did rock painting with my grandchildren. Of course, this is this Finn, the son, the boy, the grandson did it, didn't he? Monster with a little booger in his nose. Typical boy. Anyway, as I said, I don't really know where to start and what to do today because I'm a little sad. My house is so quiet and, lonely, and all the toys and quilts are put away and washed and everything else. I think I was working on that a while ago. I can't remember when I did that. But that is from the fourth book. It's one of the nuggets of delight that I did from the fourth book. That's my tea cozy, which I am most definitely going to get finished. Thank you for those of you who inquired about my mother. She is understandably missing her husband and my father desperately. They were married for 64 years, and they've known each other for obviously so much longer. So it's a sad time. So I will definitely get this finished today. Obviously I have to go into the sewing room and use the sewing machine for that. That's just one of my daily stitching things. And what else have I got here? I've just got stuff, my little auto jar, my silk ribbon. I can now pack all these away, can't I? Because I've used them. What do I feel like doing? You know what I think I'm going to do today? I think that I'm just going to sit here in the rain. Well, I'm not in the rain, but anyway. And I'm going to do a little bit of English paper piecing. I'm going to pop inside and get it, and that's what I feel like doing today. This YouTube community is very kind and generous. And yes, I have had some horrific comments sent to me. Very few and far, but when they've been bad, they've been absolutely horrendous. And I hope that those people are not watching at all, because really, if you feel that way about me, just don't watch. But having said that, push it aside. Then this arrives. So I teach at Kimz twice a month, and somebody said to me who works at Kimz, Jenny, there's a parcel for you. And this lovely parcel of goodness arrived in a package, laces, lovely vintage handkerchiefs and whatever. But that in itself is such a lovely gesture. However, Sandra's words were just even better. She said, Jennifer, just a small gift in regards to my appreciation of your beautiful videos on YouTube. I too have been undertaking a decluttering of my craft supplies. The enclosed remnant laces are from my craft ventures, in addition to supplies passed on from my mother and grandmother. Kind regards, Sandra. P.S. My condolences on the passing of your father. And you know what? What can I say, Sandra? Thank you. Right, let's go do some English paper piecing after all that. Now, as I've said on and on, I've banged on about English paper piecings. You must be so bored about that. English paper piecing from when I was a young quilter and a young mother, I just discovered my love of hand piecing, and especially English paper piecing. I find the whole process so relaxing, just the methodical, same repetitive covering of papers. I don't normally plan my quilts at all. They just go, and I cover jars. I cover jars full of papers, all different sizes of hexagons. I just go through my fabrics, and then when I have enough, I go, yep, I'm ready to go. So these were, I started a few years ago, and they reproduction Civil War fabrics, and I simply just covered the single ones like this, and then I decided, well, this one I might make into like a lozenge shape. And I was initially going to applique it onto a piece of paper. However, not paper, Jennifer, get your words right. However, my quilts are very seriously used in my house. And I do know that that piece of fabric that I was, the applique fabric that I was going to pop this onto the foundation fabric was going to wear. And I just thought, don't worry, I'll just piece some cream around here. And as you know, I've just been on a trip to South Africa, so I took my little trusty sewing bag, and I've covered heaps of these in shirtings, reproduction shirtings. So that is what I am going to sit here and do today in the rain. And I'm sad today because my little family is not with me. So so what I need is a ring cutter. I also need some form of thimble. This is just my kind of junk thing, and I keep all sorts of nonsense in. And the cutest little, really, Margie gave this to me, Margie Beetle. She comes to my workshops. Isn't that cute? Oh, this rain, and I use a very, very fine needle. And also what I use is a thread conditioner. I'm going to take this out because I'm going to need that. So I'll put everything away. I also sometimes, for those of you who have sore fingers, I've got sort of interesting thumbs, and I sometimes get very, I won't talk about that now. I sometimes wear a splint on my finger to stop it bending back. Isn't that all just interesting and whatever? The rain is really coming down quite heavily now, so I'm not sure how the acoustics will work with this rain. So these are going to be pieced. Each one of them is going to have they're going to be sort of pieced like this. They're going to look like this. So in those spaces over there, these are going to be cream hexagons. I might have to lose this one. So I'll just start with this one. So what that means to me is that I have to put a series of hexagons like this. I'm just going to get the straight of the grain. You have to mix and match these, won't I? So each one of my little lozenges, I hope you can see, is going to have this much around it, just on the top. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And then it's going to be difficult so it's only going to be at the top, because then this is going to fit on. I wish I could pan out a little bit, but let me just get this done, and then you'll see how they're all going to pan, and they're all going to like slot into each other. So as of now, I'm not going to worry about the placement of where these little lozenges are going to go in my quilt. I am simply going to get this stitched all the way around. Now, I don't use bottom line thread at all. I use Rasant, and I also I use 2 strands. So there's many different ways of doing English paper piecing. I have done it with 2 double strands for absolute years, and that's the way I like to do it. So I need a thimble from here. As I said, I'm using a very small needle. That's a milliner's number 9 needle, and the thread that I'm going to join this one to that one first is going to be this green, and then I'm going to join these 2 together using the white. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to attach these on first, and then I'm going to sew them down there. Now, I do have quite a lot of these sewing sort of things that hold threads, and I do have one that holds 2. So, but for for the life of me, I cannot find it anyway. So to stop my thread from running away, I'm just simply going to put it in this little jug, this little vintage jug, and I'm going to bomb along. So remember, I'm using a very fine needle. And I'm simply going to run my threads through my thread conditioner. Now this is not a wax at all. It is a thread conditioner, so it's not going to leave any marks on there. All right, let's get going. Nice, healthy, juicy knot. Now, I will tell you that, as I said, the reason why I'm going to be doing this today is that, you know, I'm a little bereft. My little family has left and they live so far away and the children are growing up, and we've just had so much fun. And I have been teaching the last 2 days at Kimz. Oh, let me zoom in. Now, I don't make, my stitches that I take are not small at all. I'm just scooping over the top of the paper, and in the middle of this one I will simply come along and do a knot. It's best not to make these little stitches too small, because what you are inadvertently doing when you're doing that is you are weakening the fabric. The threads, the very tight stitches will cut the threads, will form like a pair of scissors. So there's one, and I'm going to go straight to the grain. I'm going to pop this one in here. So I begin and end off each little hexagon with a knot. Remember, my quilts are used. It's not going to be something that's going to be hanging on a wall. So I need to make sure that my stitches and the threads are quite secure. It's interesting to note that my son is 38, so the first quilt that I would have made would have been when he was a baby, and the fabric has deteriorated most definitely, but interestingly enough, my stitching here has not. So I know for a fact that the way I stitch my hexagons together works for me. I prefer not to use a bottom line thread, as I find it is a little bit bouncy. So I'm going, oh, that's not, yep, that's right, Jennifer. I think the reason why we have so much fun and the children love coming here, my grandchildren, is that they are quite old school children. They don't have a lot of screen time, and they enjoy the old fashioned, playing in mud, fishing, playgrounds, parks or whatever they're called where you live. And so with the result is that, we can all join in. I think when there's, we go on picnics, we play out the back, we play hide and seek, and it's just joyous, and I miss them terribly. See, even though my stitches are big, you cannot see my stitches at all. Straight of the grain. Anyway, that's the way I like to do it. And for some reason, as I said, this for me is my yoga. It's my therapy. I just sit here and I just do this, and I think about life, and don't ruminate. I'm not a great believer in ruminating. I sort of, you know. I think that handwork is, as my grandmother used to say, is busy hands, quiet mind. And I think that's so true. For me it is. And so the reason why I use Thread Heaven is because I use 2 strands, and this just stops the threads from twisting on me, because I am rubbing up against my papers. As you know, there's papers in here, so, and as I'm pulling it through, it's sometimes, if I don't use it, it kind of tangles on me. So Thread Heaven is my little thing. I don't know where you can buy them nowadays, but one of those that's the new one, but they last forever and a day. When just before, actually the day after my family arrived, I had to go and teach at the Gympie Quilt Show, and it was great. Thank you so much for any of you who came to that show, my workshop there. We had can you hear the thunder? It's all happening here, peeps. I think that's a bit insipid. I won't put that one. I might put this one here. So back in the day, before you could buy pre-cut papers, I used to cut all my own papers. And that in itself was quite therapeutic. I enjoyed, cutting my own papers. Now, if I needed a special shape, my husband will draft the shape for me. I also keep my papers in my quilt until the whole quilt is made and pieced, the whole quilt top is pieced. And yes, some of you are going, oh, isn't that so heavy and blah, blah, blah. Absolutely, the quilt most definitely gets cumbersome. But to hand piece a quilt, the quilt top is handled quite a lot because it's so time consuming. And I just find that if I remove my papers, then the pieces will become stretched and distorted. Whereas this way, I will piece the quilt in sort of sections, and then I join the whole thing, and then I give it a really, really, really solid press, and all the pieces and the seams are lying beautifully because they've been like that for a few months or so, because the quilt takes so long to do. So there you go. Now I'm going to join up with the cream thread. Oh, by the way, while I'm threading up, I just want to quick chat to you about fabric markers. Somebody sent me a link, because I don't watch a lot of YouTube sewing videos, a link to somebody who I will get back to, who bought a copy of my book, and she was talking about fabric markers and using my technique of using water and a Q-tip to get rid of the marks. Now, I have to tell you that I don't know about other fabric markers. I just know that this Sullivan's fabric marker, I have never, ever, ever had any trouble with it marking or coming back. I do not use those other ones that you have to use heat and everything else. So please, please, I know this works for me. Please check that the fabric marker that you using will not return. I don't want you all to go ahead and just buy any fabric marker, and then when it doesn't come out, sort of say, well, it's not coming out. I know this one does. I've used it for absolute years. So that's just I just want to make sure, a disclaimer here, that I know this one works, but I'm not sure about whatever is available to you. Oh, I should have used the cream only on there. So when I'm joining the two cream ones together, I'm using a cream, and if there's a dark one and a light one, I'm going to go back to the green. And that's the only two colors that I use in my English paper piecing, is the Rasant, and I think it's a color 0453. You can get this from Kimz at Boro, where I teach. And my papers as well, I use them over and over and over again until they basically deteriorate on me. All thumbs today, it feels like. It was good to get back to teaching at Kimz after my little break in South Africa. I need to get myself in check. I need to get back to exercising and eating properly. I've got a little chubby, and I've got to have another colonoscopy, all my health things. There is definitely something big living in our garden. I don't know if any of you are living in the Sunshine Coast can help me here and tell me what it could be. It's really big, and it comes out at night, and it moves around quite a lot. I've gone out with my torch, but every time I go out it sort of stops. I'm not sure if it's an echidna, or somebody said it could be a bandicoot. Someone said it could be a rat, but I don't think it's I mean, obviously, there would be rats because I live right, whatever. But it's definitely not a rat. I mean, a rat wouldn't make such a noise. It would be quite stealthy, wouldn't it? So, I'm going to just have a look at something quickly on my iPad. See what I mean? It's just, this video must be so boring for you because it's just me stitching, but this is what I do, and I just absolutely love it. I've got a little roller which I will go and get, and that actually, it presses the seams. But there you go, I've just got this one to do. Now, I got an email from Linda. Let me see if I can find it. Now, Linda was somebody, oh, it's really raining here, so I'm going to actually end this video very quickly. But Linda was the lady from New York who came to my workshops at the Green Door Studio, and she sent me a video. I mean, not a video, Jennifer, get your words right. Oh, I mean, really, these lovely people. Sue, who came to my workshop. We made this little, and I had a virgin who hadn't stitched before, and then she went on and won the raffle. I donated some books, and she did my workshop, and then she won the raffle. You know what, I might end this off because the rain is coming and it must be very loud. Oh, there's video. So Linda from New York, she did my workshop, and look at that. Woohoo! It's bloody beautiful. Isn't that lovely? She's put all sorts of things, but I thought she sent me another one as well. Anyway, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Well done, Linda. It was so good to meet you. All right, I'm going to call it quits for today. Thank you so much for your time, and bye for now.